What if your daily choices, what you buy, believe, or even how you feel, weren't entirely your own? What if they were being subtly guided, not by some grand conspiracy, but by a few lines of code? Today, we're pulling back the curtain to expose how a handful of tech giants are quietly shaping the behavior of billions of people, not through force, but through something far more elegant and invisible: design. Think about it. We're constantly scrolling, clicking, and liking. But who is really in control of what we see next? This isn't just about a personalized feed. It's about a personalized reality, crafted by algorithms whose primary goal isn't to inform you, but to keep you hooked. And as we'll see, the consequences of that simple goal are massive, affecting everything from our mental health to the stability of our societies. In the early 2000s, the internet was hailed as the ultimate democratizing force. Tech promised us freedom, connection, and access to a world of information. It was supposed to level the playing field. Fast forward to today, and a very different picture has emerged. Just 5 companies, Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, hold an unprecedented level of influence over the daily lives of more than 5 billion people. They control the gateways to information through search, the fabric of our social lives, the marketplaces where we shop, the cloud infrastructure that powers the digital world, and the operating systems on the devices in our pockets. This concentration of power is unlike anything humanity has ever seen before. But this expose isn't just about market dominance or the convenience these platforms offer. It's about a much deeper, more subtle form of control. We're going to investigate the hidden mechanisms big tech companies use to shape human behavior at a global scale. How do they do it? And more importantly, what is it doing to us? This isn't science fiction. This is the reality of the 21st century, and it's happening on your screen right now. Let's start with the heart of the machine: the algorithm. It's the invisible engine that powers every social media feed, every search result, and every product recommendation. It's designed to learn what you like, what you hate, what makes you laugh, and what makes you angry. Its job is to give you more of it, but it's not a neutral observer. Back in 2018, internal research from Facebook, which we now know from leaked documents, revealed its own algorithm could actively nudge the emotional states of its users. By prioritizing certain types of content, for example, posts that generate strong emotional reactions, it could make entire populations of users feel more angry or more anxious. Similarly, behavioral studies have shown that Google's autocomplete suggestions can steer public opinion, especially during sensitive times like election cycles. The subtle phrasing of a suggested search query can frame an issue, a candidate, or a policy in a positive or negative light, influencing millions of searches and consequently millions of minds. These aren't glitches in the system. They're engineered outcomes, optimized for a specific goal. And here's the twist that makes this so powerful. Most of us believe our feed is a reflection of our own interests and choices. We think, I see this content because I chose to follow this person or like that page. But that's only half the story. In reality, your feed reflects what the algorithm has calculated will keep you most engaged. What keeps us engaged isn't always what's good for us. Often it's outrage, fear, conflict, and misinformation. These emotions are potent. They trigger a strong response and keep our eyes glued to the screen. The algorithm doesn't care about truth or well-being. It only cares about one thing: holding your attention. This brings us to the myth of personalization. We're told that these platforms are tailored to us, giving us a unique and personal experience. But personalization is a marketing term for a much colder, more calculated process. It's not about serving you. It's about predicting you. A study from a leading university analyzed millions of pieces of content and found that platforms optimize for engagement consistently. Amplify the most divisive and polarizing material. Why? Not because it's true, accurate, or beneficial, but because it's sticky. Conflict creates sides, forces a reaction. It makes you want to comment, to argue, to defend your tribe, keeps you on the platform longer. The ultimate goal isn't truth. It's retention. And retention is the engine of the entire business model. Consider Meta, which reportedly earns over $100 billion a year from advertising. That staggering revenue is directly driven by one metric: how long you and billions of others stay on their platforms. Every second you spend scrolling, watching, and reacting is the second they can sell to an advertiser. Your attention is the commodity, and they have become masters at harvesting it, even if it means sacrificing a healthy, informed public discourse to do so. So, what happens when billions of people are being nudged? Not just once, but thousands of times every single day. Every notification, every recommended video, every people you may know suggestion is a tiny algorithmic intervention designed to shape your next action. This isn't just about tech anymore. This is about the fundamental architecture of modern thought. When the information we consume is constantly being curated to provoke an emotional response, it changes how we see the world and each other. We are living inside a massive, uncontrolled psychological experiment. Now let's look at how these mechanisms are playing out in the real world, beyond just our social media feeds. Let's talk about real-life consequences. In 2020, gig workers for delivery and ride-sharing apps in California started noticing something strange. Their pay seemed to fluctuate in ways that had no clear connection to the hours they worked or the distance they traveled. An investigation revealed the truth. The app's algorithm was adjusting their compensation not just based on supply and demand, but on their predicted behavior. The system would learn a driver's patterns. If it predicted a driver was close to finishing for the day, it might offer a slightly higher paying fare to keep them on the road longer. If it knew a driver was desperate for work, it might offer less. The algorithm wasn't just managing logistics. It was actively manipulating the workforce, shaping labor decisions in real time to maximize the company's profit. Meanwhile, let's look at e-commerce. Amazon's recommendation engine is legendary. It's so effective that it's credited with driving over 35% of the company's total sales. That's hundreds of billions of dollars. But it doesn't achieve this by showing you what is objectively the best product. It shows you what you are most likely to buy at that moment. It analyzes your past purchases, what you've browsed, how long you've hovered over an item, and cross-references it with millions of other users to make a probabilistic bet on what will convert you from a browser into a buyer. Then there's YouTube. Multiple academic reviews have highlighted how its autoplay and recommendation features can inadvertently lead users down rabbit holes of increasingly extreme content. A user might start by watching a mainstream political commentary video, and within a few clicks, the algorithm might be suggesting conspiracy theories or radical ideologies because that content has been proven to be highly engaging for a specific subset of users. These are not isolated incidents affecting a few unlucky people. They are systemic patterns built into the core logic of the platforms that mediate our lives. From our jobs, to our shopping habits, to our political beliefs, algorithmic systems are constantly at work, nudging us in directions that serve the platform's goals. When you zoom out and look at all these pieces together, a clear and somewhat unsettling pattern emerges. Big tech doesn't just respond to human behavior, it actively engineers it. The systems are designed for this purpose. They are built to be persuasive. The consequences are now visible all around us. We see it in rising political polarization, as algorithms create filter bubbles and echo chambers that reinforce our existing biases. We see it in mental health statistics, especially among young people, as social comparison and the pressure for online validation take their toll. We see it in economic shifts, as gig work and automated management change the nature of labor. Even see it threatening democratic processes, as misinformation campaigns can be targeted with terrifying precision. Yet despite all this, the vast majority of users remain unaware of just how deeply their digital environment is being curated and manipulated. We still tend to believe in the illusion of choice, the idea that we are the ones in the driver's seat. The takeaway here isn't to abandon technology and go live in the woods. That's not a realistic solution. The first and most critical defense is awareness. Understanding that these systems are not neutral is a powerful first step. And with that awareness, we can start to demand change. Transparency from these companies must become a demand, not a polite request. We need to know how these algorithms work, what data they are using, and what their ultimate objectives are. So I'll leave you with this question. If the algorithms are shaping your choices, from the news you read to the products you buy, to the emotions you feel, how much of your life is truly yours? Think about that. I'm genuinely curious to know what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll read every single one. And if you want more exposes that decode the hidden systems shaping our world, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Tomorrow, we're diving into a new topic. Coca-Cola's hidden truth? They don't want you to know. And we'll reveal the clever tricks companies use to ensure you keep coming back. Thanks for watching.